Hi everyone. Today I want to do a lesson investigating motion. Before we get started, I want to show you a toy that I have here. It's got a long wooden handle and 7 wooden discs. Really wobbly, goes all over the place. The discs are connected. But what I want to do is I want to balance all of the discs without touching them, without moving them, with just one hand. And let's see if I can do that. Almost there. Almost. See if I can get it. Oh, I got it. Wow. Well, let's see if there we go. I got it. It was pretty fun. Kind of hard to do, but not so difficult. Why? What do you think made this a little bit easier for me to balance rather than just balancing the discs? Did I have any help? Can you think of something? What do you think helped me balance these discs? I'm going to show you. Each of these discs has a tiny little magnet on one side. Oops. And then another magnet all the way on the other side. What made these discs want to stick together? Magnetism. And that's what we're going to talk about today, this topic of magnetism. And we're going to investigate with, of course, magnets, right? Now, I want to show you another cool toy that I have, and you guys can see how this one works. So what I have here is a little steel ball bearing that's hung on a metal rod. And basically what you're supposed to do is play a game with this, and I can ask all sorts of questions, and wherever it lands, that's what the answer is. So my question is, should we do engineering today? And let's see where my ball lands. Oh, it landed on yes. Wow. Let's try it again and see, are we really going to do engineering today? And let me just really swing it. Have it go all over the place. Oh, now it landed on maybe. Let's try that one more time. Give it a big swing. Bit long. Let's see if we can watch where it lands this time. Can't decide. Keeps, oh, back to maybe. Well, if you guys have ever played with one of these toys, they're kind of fun. You can ask it all sorts of questions and it might land on, whoops, ask a friend. Try again. No way. Or definitely. It can actually land on any one of these. So how is it that these work? What is the trick behind it? Let's look at this one more time. So I told you there's a steel ball here, and it rotates around and stops if I hold it over one specific area. Well, how is this working? This is steel. We know that it is magnetic. And if it's magnetic, then it must be attracted to some kind of a magnet. Is this whole big plate a magnet? Probably not, right? They have magnets in each individual place, in one of these places, And whenever it gets close to one of those locations, the steel ball and the magnet are attracted to each other and they hold on. For this first part of the lab, you're going to need a few different materials. You're going to need a piece of string. Now, if you don't have string, it's fine. Use a shoelace or a piece of yarn. You're going to need a steel paper clip. And you're going to need a magnet. Now, if you don't have a magnet at home, it's no time to go buy one. But you can go look and search for a magnet around your house. Ask the adult in the house for permission. So I found something that was stuck to our refrigerator. This was the magnet that if I wanted to take this apart, I don't really need anymore. I have a souvenir magnet. This one's good, but I had another couple of souvenir magnets that had broken, the magnet part had broken off, that I could use for this experiment. So the first thing that I've done is I have taken my string and tied it onto a paper clip. And your string doesn't have to be very long, right? And I'm going to take a piece of tape and I'm going to tape my string down. And I'm going to try to recreate this toy using some very, very simple items. I've only reversed the magnet and the position of the paper clip. So I want to see if I can get this paper clip to float without them touching. Oh, look at that, right? Just like my toy. Can I move it around? If I get too far, they separate and they lose their attraction. But there is a magic spot where I can hold it just close enough where they are attracted to each other because the paper clip is floating and they are not touching. Try this. See if you can make a floating paper clip. Now, are magnets always attracted to each other? Or do they also repel? Do they also go away from each other? For this part, I'm going to use 3 or 4 different magnets. These are donut magnets. They have little holes in between. And you can see quickly they snap together, right? They are attracted to each other. If I try to separate them, quickly clicks back on. Let's try something else. I'm going to put my donut magnet onto a pencil. And again, it clicked right in place. They are attracted to each other. But what if I flip it around and I try the other side? Whoa, were they attracted to each other? No. See if I push them together. Will they stick to each other? No. They are repelling one another. Let's try this with a third magnet. If I bring it close, what happens? They're attracted to each other. How can I make them repel? That's right. Flip it over and let's see if that works. Well, I have 3 magnets on my pencil and none of them are attracted to each other. Let's put a 4th one. Look at that. Again, attracted to each other. And let's see if I can make it repel. Now I have 4 magnets. It looks like they're bouncing. They're creating this spring-like motion. And every time I move just this one, what happened to the other ones? I was able to move this 4th magnet simply by moving this first magnet. Now my question for you is, do magnets have to be in contact with one another to exert a force? What do you think? Are my magnets in contact with one another? Are they touching? They're not. Are they exerting a force? They are. Let's see if I can make one magnet fall off. Well, close, right? It did fall off, but it got attracted. The other side got attracted. So we know that magnets have a north and a south, positive and negative. Similar charges repel, opposite charges attract, right? So these opposite charges, these are similar charges that are repelling, opposite charges are attracted to one another. For this last part, what do you say we do an engineering activity that requires the use of magnets to make a magnet-powered car? Let me tell you what you need for this part. A few pieces of cardboard, recyclables that you may have laying at home, plastic containers, a bowl, paper towel roll, popsicle sticks. You also need a round circular object, and this is just for tracing. A quarter will work, but any other circular object will work as well. Then you will need a few straws. Different sizes would be great. You can use a paper straw, plastic straw, whatever you have at home. Again, we're not buying anything. And what I would ideally love is to have 2 different sizes straws. And I didn't have that. You would want one straw to fit inside of the other and slip right out. I didn't have that. And I can't go buy anything. So I looked around the house and guess what I found? It's not quite a straw, but a piece of spaghetti, right? And let's see if my spaghetti will fit inside of this straw. And it does. Once you have these materials, oh, and you also need your magnets. You do need 2 magnets for this activity to work. Then we are going to construct a car that's going to be powered with a magnet. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to construct your wheels for your magnet. So what I'm going to do is, I don't have any wheels here, but I'm going to make some wheels. I'm going to take my piece of cardboard. I'm going to take my circular shape and I'm going to trace 4 circles onto my cardboard. That's 1. Space them out just so that you have enough area to cut with. One, 2. Next, what you want to do is cut out these circles as perfectly as you can. Good scissors will come in handy. Next, what you want to do is cut out these circles. Now that I have cut out my 4 circles, you want to examine them and make sure that all 4 are the same size and as smooth as possible. You don't want any bumps. And that's something that you can fix easily. If you see a little bit of a bump, then you can just trim that, making sure you don't change the size of your wheel too much. We have our wheels. The next thing you have to do is decide, well, what is the base of my car? Paper towel roll would make a great base. Plastic container would make a great base. Bowl would make a great base. I'm going to keep it really simple, and I'm just going to use a piece of cardboard as my base. It's a little bit big, so I'm going to trim it down just to make it even simpler. I want it to be a nice square. Now what I want to do is I have to find how I'm going to make my wheels and axle attached to my base of my car. Now remember, I told you this is where your straws come, right? I didn't have a small straw, so I'm going to use a piece of spaghetti, and I'm going to use my plastic straw for this. What I'm going to do first is bend it in half and just make a cut right through. Then what I'm going to do is still a little bit too big. Look at that. You want it to be smaller than the base of your car. So I'm going to evenly give them another trim. And now I want to get my tape, and I'm going to tape on my plastic straws. One on the top and another one on the bottom. And if it's not straight, just straighten them out. Now my spaghetti is going to fit inside my straw. It's going to rotate. That's how I'm going to get my wheels to turn, right? If I had my wheels connected to the spaghetti and stuck on, would it be able to turn if it were stuck? No, it wouldn't. So I'm going to give this just a small break. Again, if you had a straw, it would be easier because you could cut them. And I'm going to take a second piece and cut that as well. This wasn't too bad, pretty easy. And the other thing you want to do is now make a hole at the center of each of your wheels. You can use a pencil to do that. And you have to kind of just guess. Do your best job at figuring out where is the center. And mark it with a pencil. Oh, that one worked a lot better. My pencil was nice and sharp, cut through the cardboard. Do that 2 more times. As you can see, sometimes the pencil works well to cut through, and sometimes it doesn't. So very carefully, what you can do is use maybe a pair of scissors. Make the hole not too big. You want it to be very small, and be careful with your fingers. Get help from an adult. Just small enough so that the spaghetti will fit through. Be very, very careful with your fingers. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to take the spaghetti that I cut and poke it through. Let's see if my hole is big enough here. Oh, perfect. That's a good one. So I think what I need to do is make these holes a little bit bigger. I'm going to come back. Take my other spaghetti and poke it through. There we go. You don't want it to be too big because then it will slip through. So now that you have your wheel attached to your spaghetti or whatever you use, you could actually use a skewer if you don't have a straw. As long as it's a round cylindrical shape and it's smaller than your other straw that's connected to the base of your car. You're going to take the straw and just push it through. And let's see, will this spin? Will it work? It does, right? It's not connected. So you're going to take the other one and push it through as well. Now once I do this, I see, well, this is way too long. This axle's way too long. So I'm going to trim it down a little bit. I'm going to take some from the end. You want it to be exactly the same size. So you're going to measure. And trim off the same amount. Then push them back through. And I noticed another problem. See, engineering, we always come and we need to keep fixing this. My wheels are too close together. Something I need to fix. So I'm going to take my wheels out and I'm going to take my first straw and just push it up on the cardboard a bit. And just to be safe, let's do that with the other one as well. Space them out really well. Now let's test it again. Push it through. And push it through. And let's see. Now they're no longer in contact with one another. Now I have my second wheel, which I'm going to connect. Sorry, my third wheel and my fourth wheel. Now I have all four wheels, and looks like my car is moving, but it's moving by what force? My force, right? So I don't want it to move by my force. I want it to move by using a magnet. And this is where your magnets will come in handy. I'm going to use my donut magnet, but feel free to use any magnet that you have. You're going to attach one magnet top. I'm going to use my tape to connect it. Again, you'll notice this is nothing fancy. Just all recycled materials. Now I have my other magnet, and I want to control this car with my other magnet. So what I'm going to do is actually use a popsicle stick to connect this other magnet to. Now you can use any other item. You can use a pencil, you can use a pen, marker, whatever you have at your house. Remember, we don't want to buy anything right now. Just go through your house and see what are you using and what you're not. Now think about it. Do I want the two magnets to attract, or do I want them to repel? Well, it depends. If I want to push it away, then I want to repel it. And if I want to pull it towards me, I want to see if it will. I want to attract it. See what, oh, that was attraction. That was way too fast though. Might be a little bit easier. I'm going to flip the side of my magnet around. And then let's see, can I push my car away? I can. Did I come into contact with the car at all? I didn't. I mean, the magnets, did they come into contact with one another? They never touched. They come pretty close. Let's test it one more time. Pretty cool, right? I created a car that's powered by a magnet, and the magnets never came into contact with one another. Let's look at that one more time. Drove the car right off the table. Well, that was a fun activity. We used our knowledge of magnets to build a car powered by a magnet. Have my wooden stick that has a magnet connected to it. I have my cars with my man-made wheels, and I'm able to move the car without the magnets ever touching one another. Now remember, engineering, we need to design, and we need to plan and build. You won't have access to all the materials that you would love, but I'm sure you can find something around your house that you can use. Recyclables are great. I love plastic containers, paper towel rolls. bowls. These are all great materials that you could use for the base. Now the wheels, did I have a wheel that I could just plop on? No, I didn't. That would have been great. It would have been so easy. But did it stop me? No. Made my own wheels, right? Out of some cardboard. Now, if you don't have cardboard, try plastic wheels. Try some really, really thick construction paper. Find something else that you can make wheels out of. Now, you do need 2 different size straws, which again, I didn't have. But I went around and I looked and I found this spaghetti that works so well because it fits so nicely inside the other. You do need some tape and scissors, and you're ready to build. You're ready to engineer. I would love to see your creations and what you guys come up with. Good luck.